G'day, folks, and welcome to Cricketing Journeys. Cricket has been a sport that has been played since the 18th century, and there's been only one person that has scored a ton at batting position number 11 and batting position number 1. I have with me Vidyut Shiv, who holds the record for that particular batting record, and he's also represented India at the under-19s level, went on to play for the A team, and has played over 100 first-class and A games for India. And at the same time, he also was part of the stellar Chennai Super Kings squad. Like any cricketer, he's also experienced the highs and lows of cricket. So let's get chatting. Welcome to Cricketing Journeys, Vidyut.
Thanks, Sharan. Great to be here. Thanks.
Vidyut, we have to start the conversation with your 2 centuries that kicked off your career. And I understand the first one happened in your second domestic season. So just, talk me through both those centuries and how do you feel?
It was a unique record. It's something which wasn't planned. You don't, start playing the game thinking of record, and this was very, very unique. So, the first ones against Delhi, I went into bat at number 11. It just happened. Two things happened when I went into bat at number 11 and I got the century. It made me realize that I have potential with the bat, and the century at number 1 made me realize that yes, maybe I can be a first-class opener. So both were unique in their own way. Both made me realize that I can bat, the old ball and the new ball.
But I understand with you, there was a bit of luck involved in you batting in both those positions.
Yeah, there was a lot of luck because the game against Delhi I wasn't supposed to play. I think the captain was Robin Singh at that time, and we had a meeting the previous day, and he had told me, listen, you need to help out with the fielding drills because those days we didn't have a fielding coach. We just had one coach in the team. So I was just, prepared to help out in the warm-ups and fieldings. And the next day we started, I just hit a few catches, helped the bowlers out, and I came back to the dressing room at 9 a.m. Yeah, the toss got over and Tamil Nadu decided to bat. And still, I didn't know what was happening. So at 9:15, somebody came to me, you're batting at number 11. Oh, no, they told me you're batting at number 10. So I was like, oh, God, I'm playing the game. Okay, pretty cool. And then because Robin was away in Indian duty for most of the time, he had asked a couple of players like, should Vidyut bat at number 10 or 11? There's a new guy called Emma Srinivas, my partner. And a lot of guys told him that, okay, that guy can defend better with his slog or the sentiment number 11. And I went in at number 11 and it just so happened that I got century that day. So pure destiny. And even at number 1, I never liked facing the first ball. I always preferred to give my partner a strike the first ball. But that particular game I opened in Saragopal Ramesh, the Indian opener. So he was a senior partner. So he said nothing, you have to face the first ball. So if I had batted number 2, it wouldn't have been a world record. That game I faced the first ball, I got 100. And this also, instead of 10, I played 11 and it became a record. So this case was destined to happen. And yeah, definitely luck was on my side, yeah.
Not a lot of people know with you that you actually started off your career as a bowler, and you were actually a left-arm spinning prodigy. And I say prodigy because you made your Ranji Trophy debut at the age of 17, and you picked up 5 wickets in your first-class game, and all of them were top-order batsmen. So talk me through how did that journey start off as a left-arm spinner?
I really don't know. I started bowling well. I played my first league season when I was 11 years old. I got 37 wickets in my first season as a left-arm spinner. So that's how it happened. And I just kept progressing well with the ball. Kept getting a lot of wickets every year. And by the time I knew it, when I was 16, I made it to the squad for the state side. And unfortunately, that year we lost in the quarters. So we had to start the next year again. And that's when I made my debut as a left-arm spinner. So it just happened. It's not planned. I was bowling well. Everything went my way. And I enjoyed bowling. I really enjoyed bowling long spells. I enjoyed getting wickets. I enjoyed being competitive and, being under pressure. So, yeah, it just happened. And I always had potential with the bat, but it wasn't planned. It just happened. I just started bowling well. I always got to bat load on the order. I just went, hit a few, played a reckless shot and got out. So that's why the century at number 11 was so important. It gave me perspective towards my batting and made me realize, okay, listen, I have something, to achieve with the bat as well. So, yeah.
Vidyut, you grew up in a cricketing household. So your father's played 100 first-class games and your uncles played another 25 first-class games. So your father never forced you to go into batting because he averages 41 in first-class cricket, which
42, yeah.
42, yeah. So didn't he force you into batting?
I think greatest thing about my parents is they never forced me to play the game as well. I just had a passion towards it, and it just took me through to the game. There was nothing at home saying that no, you had to play cricket. Your father's played so many games. They just allowed me to express myself and uh, hold on to my passion. So there was nothing as such. Sometimes I really wish I could use my father's guidance a lot more, which I didn't actually. I didn't want him to come and watch my games because I always felt a little, tense when he was there. Not that he made me feel tense, but just something that I felt when he was watching me. I felt a little conscious. So I really wish I picked his brains a lot more, which I didn't. But there was nothing. First of all, he never forced me to play the game. He always gave me a lot of good advice, which helped me in good state throughout my career. Yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned that your father actually made you quite nervous because you talk to a lot of kids today and they also say oh dad, please don't come to the games, don't watch me because I get nervous and I get I'll throw my wicket away. So what sort of advice can you actually give those kids? I'm talking about kids who are between the ages of 13 to 16 to 17.
Yeah, my dad never made me feel nervous. It's just that I had this thing going in my head. I felt very conscious when he was there because I felt that I want to really live up to the expectations. So he never made me nervous. It's just that me seeing him he made me feel that way. I think it's a good point. I think it's very, very important that parents understand that like it's just a game at the end of the day, and you want to give kids the right platform to perform. Okay, the more pressure you start putting on them, they're going to crumble. Okay, already there's a lot of pressure. Cricket is a pressure game. You do have pressure when you go into bat. The last thing you want is when you come back home and parents telling you that no, you're not doing well. We're investing so much in you. You're letting us down. That's the last thing you want to happen. So my only advice to parents is just let them play the game, let them enjoy the game, and if you see a spark in them, I think you should support them because it's a beautiful question you got up because I coach a lot of kids between the age of 12 and 16. And this is something they really face, and that's why I keep telling the parents: just let them play. This is an age where they love something. They should be happy that they're able to, make it their careers. So just support them and be there for them, and give them guidance on what to do and what not to do in life, and not in the game as such, because they've not played the game. So yeah.
Yeah. But not many actually know with you that you were part of the first Indian under-19 team back in 2000 to win a World Cup, and you played with the likes of Yuvraj, KF, Ritendra Singh Sodhi, Ajay Ratra, Venugopal Swamy. So quite people who ended up playing for India, and you were playing against the likes of Nathan Horitz, Mitchell Johnson, Michael Clarke, Ian Bell, Danish Kareria, who was all representative in that World Cup. So it must have been an extremely competitive World Cup.
It was a fantastic experience. Although I didn't get to play a game, I was part of the squad. I just played a couple of side games there, but it was fantastic. And I think the quality of cricket in that World Cup was very, very good. We played in Sri Lanka, and the conditions really supported us. And I think if you see, there were a lot of match winners in that tournament. And if you see people like Yuvraj Singh, you had Shane Watson in Australia, you had Ian Bell, you had Graham Smith who led South Africa. So, and you had, I think you had Wavell Hines in West Indies, you had Tatendra Taibu from Zimbabwe, you had some very, very good players. So it was a very competitive World Cup. It was played in whites those days, so we didn't have the color clothing in the white, but it was still played in whites, and so it was very, very good. It was televised in Sony, so it was a big event for us, because the first time we were coming on TV and everything. So it was good. It taught me a lot. It was a great feeling to stand as a team for the national anthem. It really gave you a lot of goosebumps. So a lot of pleasant memories, and of course, winning was icing the cake. And I love the tournament, although I didn't get to play. Yeah.
But one of the reckoning moments for you came actually after the World Cup, when you were playing an ODI and Test series against the under-19 English team in India, and you had a record at the Wankhede at that point. Or not a record, but a very good performance that you had put up.
Yeah. I want to share a story about this test. We were playing England, and we had the third day. I was just lying down in my bedroom, and there was a pen and paper in the hotel. So I just for some reason I just wrote, I'm going to win this test match for India. Now, I wasn't thinking. I just wrote that I'm going to take 6 wickets and win this test match for India. Okay, so we went into the next day, the fourth day. Obviously, the wicket was spinning a bit in the Wankhede, a lot of bounce and turn. I think England were chasing something around 300 or something, and they were 160 for 1 at tea. And they were batting beautifully. I think Ian Bell was still there. No, Ian Bell just got out before tea. I think Dharmichan got him out before tea. And that we got a strike and there's 25 overs, and again, it just so happened a new batsman came in and started getting my rhythm back, and I ended up getting 8 wickets that game, 8 for 38 of 34 overs. And I think the last spell was 10 overs for 2 runs and 7 wickets. So it was very memorable. Um, Again, not planned, but it just, I just started getting a good rhythm. Everything went my way. And again, to win a test match for your country at the junior level or senior level is very, very special.
Yeah, you're coming to think about it, a left arm orthodox or right arm orthodox are the ones who actually just keeps it tight from one end. But it was not only keeping it tight for you, but you also picked up the wickets, which was remarkable. Monty Panesar wrote something in his book about you. Coming to that, was it that match?
Yeah, that game. Yeah, it was that game. So it was, I think Monty was this young spinner coming from England, and I just got into bat. I just wanted to hit a lot of the spinner. The fast bowlers are bowling really well, so I just wanted to get as many runs as possible with the spinner. And the first over, I hit him for 18 runs, and the last ball, I hit him for a six, which went outside the Wankhede Stadium over the roof. So I think only Clive Lloyd, Ravi Shastri, and somebody else had done it. So. Which he mentioned in his book, because that was his welcome to India, and this guy just coming and kept hitting him, and how he felt about that, and going into the series. So it was very nice of him to mention about although it is nothing big. I just hit him for 2 or 3 sixes. At the end of the day, I got it for 18, and he had the last laugh. Although I got it to a fast bowler, but it was very nice of him to mention the book. And look, it was a wonderful test match. Like playing. There was a lot of passion. I was just 17 that time. I was 18, sorry. I was a lot of passion. I just, wanted to do well for the country, and, everything just went my way. So,
yeah. And I just to give folks a bit of an appreciation, back in the day, you don't probably have those thick willows that you're talking about. You're talking about this really thin bats, and to clear the stadium with that must have been a massive hit.
Yeah, this was, I think early 2000s bats were a lot better. I think a lot more credit to people like in the 70s and the 80s, like when my dad's generation, they had horrible bats, which used to hitting a six in those bats is almost impossible. You really need to swing hard, and so definitely the bats now are way better than it was in 2000. But 2000 started getting a lot better. So I did have a pretty good stick at the time. So yeah.
And Vidyut, so after that test, so between the years of 2001 to 2005 is when you actually transitioned from actually being a bowler to being a batsman. So why that transition? Yes, you scored that first class, ton, but then why that transition?
I really wish I had an answer to this question. I really don't know how it happened. I don't know why it happened. It just happened, So for some reason, my batting started picking up and my bowling just dropped. And I think a reason for that is, from the age of 14, I've been bowling a lot of overs. I've been bowling thousands and thousands of overs. I played under 16, under 19, under 22, under 20 trophy the same year. So I played all this. I played first division cricket when I was 14 or 15, and I was bowling a lot of overs. And at that point, there was not much awareness about strengthening your shoulder or strengthening your core. To help you in your bowling. All we knew at that point is just running, doing laps, just coming, rolling your arm over and bowling a lot, So, and I used to bowl 3 hours a day in the nets as well. So, and I started at the age of 14, and this was when I was 21, 22, 7, 8 years down the line. And I just couldn't lift my shoulder beyond a point. How much ever I lifted, I couldn't get speed on the ball. So, today, at that time, I didn't have the maturity to understand that. I just used to keep trying, keep bowling. It just didn't happen, So, I think that was the reason even my technique got, my arms started dropping because, not because of injury, but because of lots of overs. And I didn't have anybody to guide me at that point, at a very, very crucial point, that listen, this is what you need to do. We had some fantastic trainers, but by the time they came, it was a little late. So I think that was one of the reasons. And, I could have been a little smarter about things. I could have worked on my technique more than being just, I was only focusing on quantity more than quality. I just focused on bowling 3 hours over, doing the wrong thing again, over, and it became a part of me. So, yeah, but I look at the positive side of things. It's made me a better coach. All this, what I went through as a player, the lessons I've learned, what to do and what not to do, has definitely made me, I won't say a better coach, but it gave me a lot of awareness about how to go about things when young athletes come to me.
Now that's a great point that you brought up, because these days when you talk to a lot of people, they say as a spinner you need to be bowling 10,000 balls. Only then will you start becoming a good spinner. But we focused about the quality versus quantity, which is great. Um, Vidyut, in 2005, you were part of the like how we have today the India Blues, India Greens, and so on. You were part of the India Seniors, and you opened the batting with Sachin Tendulkar. Wow, not a lot of people get that opportunity, and you went in and you scored an 87. So what I'd like to hear from you is, how did you feel? Obviously, going with one of the greats to play the game, and secondly, how did his advice sort of help you?
Um, First of all, I think that the first thing that really struck me is the respect he had towards the game, because I was just sitting across him in the dressing room, and the way he managed his kit, the way he respected his kit, everything was so organized. Even his pads, his gloves, his bat, the way he kept everything was quite unbelievable for somebody who's achieved so much in the game. The way he respected the game, the way he treated everybody the same was something which really stood out. Uh, after the third game got over, we had a day break before the finals, and we didn't have a day break before that. So I wanted a car, and I said Greg Chappell was the coach. I told him I wanted to go and have a hit in the net. So they arranged a car for me, and the car driver told me just wait until one more person wants to come. And who was it? Sachin. So we had a car drive to Murali. We discussed a lot about batting, which was very very nice. And next day I got to open with him. It was wonderful. There were I think 12,000 people in the crowd. I think all 12,000 were giving him ovation. They didn't know who this guy was, so But I really enjoyed the occasion. It was one. He was very very nice to me. He kept things right. He didn't make me feel that I'm opening with a legend of the game or one of the greatest players to ever play. It was very normal, and it's something I'll treasure for the rest of my life. Yeah.
I also understand there was a funny incident in the hotel.
Yeah. Actually, something which I really look forward to, and I felt let down because I got a call from reception saying that Mr. Sachin Telkar from so and so room wants to meet you. So I was like, wow, perfect. I go have a shower, get ready, and just rush to his room. I ring the bell, and he opens the door, and with his lovely voice says, "Yeah, with you." And I, I told him that I just got a call that you want to meet me. He thought for him and said, "Oh, sorry, it's not you. I want to meet the umpire Shivaraman." So because my surname is Sivaramakrishnan and the umpire is Shivaraman, so you want to meet the umpire. So I said, oh God, okay. I just went back, rejected. But anyway, next day I got to open with him and I got to speak with him, and spend a lot of quality time with him. The first time I was playing with him, I played a lot against him, quite a few times, a couple of times Ranji Trophy, and later for CSK against Mumbai Indians and everything. So it was definitely a special moment.
Awesome. Wow. Yeah, you're very lucky as an individual to have experienced that. Then you got into the IPL squad for Chennai Super Kings, and you were with the Chennai Super Kings from 2008 to 2010 in a dressing room with Dhoni, Fleming, Murali, Hussey, Flintoff, Hayden. How was that experience? And we'll get to my second question, which is something which we have to ask anybody who's faced Murali. How tough was it to face and pick Murali out of the hand?
First of all, I think it was a wonderful experience. Like there's something new for everybody, not only for me. The IPL happened in 2008. The first time it's like a world 11 playing. With a few players here and there against different world 11 teams. So it was quite fantastic. It was a great concept. I feel. I think that's changed the way cricket is played, and I think it's done Indian cricket leaps of good. And it was wonderful for me. The thing which struck be the most is the way they prepare. All these are legends of the games, but they came here 40 degrees Chennai heat, April, and they used to train for 3 hours a day, and the intensity in which they trained was quite unbelievable. Hayden, I remember after every session, we used to do at 9 to 11:30, 12 in the morning. It used to be hot, and we used to just go in and collapse and be ready to eat our lunch. And he used to do around 10 to 15, 150-meter sprints after that, and that's why he was a champion, And Hasi, the way he prepared, Mulidan kept bowling, unbelievable, Dhoni, the way he was, the way he progressed as a leader, the way he, gave everybody the space in their team to be themselves was quite unbelievable, and it taught me a lot. I really wish the IPL happened, 4 5 years earlier. I would have been a much better cricketer. Uh, but I'm very happy I got got to play the IPL. A lot of people who deserve to didn't get to play, so no complaints. But it was a fantastic concept. I loved every minute of it, and yeah, it is a real honor to be a part of the Chennai Super Kings squad.
How was it to pick Murali out of the hand and play him?
Very hard in the beginning, very hard. He's the only couple of bowlers I've faced where you hear a noise like a bee is coming here. He's spraying the ball, and it was very difficult. The first two sessions were difficult, very difficult to pick him. But after you started playing him, it became, I won't use the word easy. It's never easy to play Murali, but it was a lot more familiar, and we got a hang of it after some time. But again, it was beautiful to play him. It's such an honor just to watch his eyes when he bowls, and the intensity he had in the nets. Again, that's why these guys are champions. After 600 wickets at that point, coming to the nets day in and day out, and looking to get better at their craft was something very good, and a great learning experience for a lot of people like me.
I understand Stephen Fleming also played an important role during your stint with the Chennai Super Kings.
Unbelievable. Like a lot of people know him. That I think Shane once said he's one of the best captains he's ever seen, and what an unbelievable thinker of the game. And what really struck me was the first game we played against Delhi Daredevils. I got out for 57. In the 18th over, I tried to pull McGrath and I got out. And we played one more game, and then we went to Delhi to play against Delhi Daredevils. So he took me aside, he took me to net and said that McGrath's going to bowl short to you, and let's practice the pull shot. So he chucked around 50 to 75 balls to me, made me play the shot the way the Australians and New Zealand player come in the front foot and look to pick the ball in front. And he made me do it 50 to 75 times. He told me McGrath's going to do it. So next year in the match, we were chasing 180. I took guard. I wasn't thinking about it, but the first ball, McGrath bowled short, I hit him for 4. The second ball, he bowled short, I hit him for 4. And he was with me the other end, and we had a lovely smile about it. So that was amazing, because I could see that he really cared for me to do well, and which really made me feel very nice. And I really appreciate what he has done. And it's no surprise that he's one of the best coaches in the world today, and he's been one of the most successful coaches coaching Chennai Super Kings. So I'm not surprised at all, and we are very lucky to have somebody like him. The Dhoni Fleming combination, it's, I think, one of the best in the world, and still going strong.
And talking about Dhoni, you used to play a lot of under-19 cricket against him, and you've sort of seen his transition pretty firsthand, I would say. So talk us through that. Has he always been the same person, or has he changed? And did you think that he would actually make it this big and achieve what he's achieved?
I spent quite a bit of time with Dhoni in 2008 when I played. And then the next 2 years, not too much time. And then I just met him recently. I met him briefly now, and last year for a while. He's just gotten to be a wonderful person. From 2008 transition to 2020 has been amazing. He's just gotten from strength to strength as a cricketer, yes, obviously, but as a person, he's really become a very nice person. He cares a lot of what he's done for the Indian Army is something amazing. Not many people will do. So I have a newfound respect for him. Dhoni as a leader was, he was a very instinctive leader. He believed in keeping things simple and, trying to not to plan too much, because T20 is a format where, things happen very quickly. So with Dhoni, we never had these big meetings of planning, saying, okay, if this guy comes, we're going to do this, that. He was very instinctive. He wanted everybody to, be prepared for anything. And I think the most wonderful thing about him is he gave everybody their space to be themselves, which is very important. You don't want a captain to be claustrophobic and coming and telling you, no, do this, plan this, no, you have to do this. He gave us a space beautifully. At the same time, he guided us very well when it mattered the most. And another great thing about him is when the team needed him the most, he put his hand up. Or when the team was in crisis, he put his hand up as a leader and as a batsman, which is something which is, like I said, I'm very lucky to spend quite a bit of time with him, and it's been a great learning. I still learn from him. I think the way he conducts himself, the way he even now, he cares a lot. The care he has for Chennai Super Kings is something very, very special. And I think we need to credit India Cements for that because they're a company who has done so much for cricket. And I think recently Rahul Dravid said that, between RCB and CSK is much better because India Cements has been in the game for a long time, which really helps. So they understand players very, very well, and they give them space to perform and don't put any unnecessary pressure on them. So Dhoni and CSK combination is, again, it's, I think you can write a book about that.
Yep.
People can read and learn a lot about that.
Fantastic! Wow, superb story, and it's great to see that you actually experienced that, in your playing days, and it would have influenced you as well. Vidyut, you quit your first class and T20 playing career at the age of 28. That, and I heard Shahid Afridi say this in a couple of interviews, and a few of the others. They actually say that a person peaks at the age for between 28 to 35. So you quit playing at the age of 28, and and between 28 to 32, it was a bit of a difficult time for you, and at the age of 32 is when you took up coaching. So what I'm trying to get at is that 4 years must have been quite difficult for you.
It was. I think it was. I can use the word. It was quite devastating because I didn't stop playing. I only stopped playing when I was 32. But 28 to 32 was a time, I was trying to get myself back in the state team and trying to get to different IPL teams. Trying a lot of things which nothing worked. So it was very difficult. But I think that's why I need to credit my family a lot. I could have broken down as a person at that point if not for my family support. My parents, my wife, my brother, a whole extended family, friends, some very, very good friends. It made me realize who my real friends are at that point, because when you're on the limelight, when you're famous, everybody wants to be your friends. But at that point, I really realized who my friends are. It was very difficult. I had a daughter at that time, so I had almost lost everything. So it was tough, but it's funny that if I think about it now, I think those were the best days because it made me realize the value of my family. It made me realize the value of friendship. It made me realize the value of how important it is to respect people, respect money. You know, you're leading this kind of a lifestyle, you suddenly come down. So a lot of learnings. I think a lot of learnings, which has made me a lot better person today. And I look to get better every day, but that has made me a much better person today. And it was tough. There were times like for 4 5 years I didn't play any first class. I didn't play for. I tried. I moved to DY Patil in Mumbai. I left everything in Chennai. I didn't have a job. I went and tried there. They were very welcoming. I think DY Patil group, Mr. Abhay Kurula, they allowed me to play for their team, and I did quite well there. I got called for a couple of IPL trials. I went for the Rajasthan Royals trials. I almost got picked up Pune Warriors, but then the team was closed the next year. So a lot of things came. One other state were interested in me, but it didn't happen. So it just came clear and just dropped. So it was very difficult. So, and at 32, I realized that, it's difficult for me to go to the next level from now on. There's no point continuing, and I'm very happy I got onto coaching at a very, very young age. So no regrets. It was a tough time, a lot of learnings, and I'm really, at that point, if you asked me, I'd have tripped about it. But today, I'm really happy I went through that phase, because more than anything, it's made me a better person and understand the value of family and understand the value of a lot of other things in life.
You've seen players that's taken time off, from the game just because of mental health issues, be it Jonathan Trott or Glenn Maxwell. So I mean, hopefully now people hearing you actually understand it's a real thing, and it does exist.
It is. Yeah. No, it is. And the thing is, when I'm sure even I went through phases there, but there wasn't any word tagged to it. Like there were times where I was very lonely, long journeys, long tours. Uncertainty. But because at that point, cricket wasn't so commercial. Today, even if you play first class cricket or if you play IPL, you can lead a good life. At that point, it wasn't that commercial. It was a lot worse in the other generations. So the anxiety of, will I be able to lead a good life, or will I be able to get into a team? So all that anxiety, and every innings you don't score, you're like, okay, have I lost out on a great opportunity? So all this, starts building up to you. And maybe I went through depression. You never know. Maybe there was a time where, but there was no word tagged to it like anxiety or depression. So it is an issue. It's a tough sport. It is an issue. But the only good thing now is there are far more opportunities now for people to express themselves. And I think it is something which that's where good coaches come into the picture. You need to understand player psychology more than telling them how to go about their grip and everything. Now, you need to understand their nature. That's very, very important. Everybody is different. You can't be the same way with Vidyut. You can't be the same way with Sharan. He is different and Vidyut is different. So I think that's where a really good coach stands out, and that's what I look to do. I more than coaching, I like to be there for them in hard times. When you succeed, it's very easy to be happy. But when you fail is when you really need people to, not just put a pat on your back, but make them understand that, yeah, things are going to get better and you need to do certain things to get better. It's as simple as that, but it's not that simple actually. Yeah.
Yeah. But you've been you rejuvenated yourself by starting to coach. You joined Sriram Academy, the current bowling coach of Australia. You were there for a bit, and then you became the head coach at Gen Next, which is Ravichandran Ashwin's academy. And you in that journey, you also started coaching Tamil Nadu under-23 team. So that's a lot of responsibility for a young person like you. So talk us through that journey of coaching. I mean, does coaching also has its highs and lows?
I think coaching is the hardest job because as a player you are pretty much responsible for what you're doing in the field. You have the bat in hand. It's about how you are going to go. Obviously, if you get a bad decision or you get a good ball, so you are pretty much responsible for what you're doing. I've been a commentator. As a commentator, it's all in what you say, But as a coach, the moment you can't cross the line. The moment the players cross the boundary line, you have no control of how things are going to go. So it is a tough job. It's a very, very tough job. And coaching kids can be very difficult. Coaching adults is a lot easier because they are responsible. You expect them to be at a particular platform. So it's more about man management skills and how to handle pressure and how to go about different sessions or different. But coaching kids is very, very important because they're in a very, very important stage of their career, and you need to inculcate right values in them as a player, and try to get good life skills into them, which is very, very, very important. And I enjoy doing that because what happens, unfortunately, we don't have too many good coaches at the grassroots level because all the money is in the first class and the IPLs and all. So coaches don't want to get into, I don't blame them. I don't blame them, but you want to get good coaches in the grassroots level because that's why you really make a player. And you build a foundation for them at that point. So that is something I've taken up. I want to do that. I want to, build good players and good human beings, and so they can face any situation in the world. Yeah, it's been, like I said, it started off with Sriram's Academy. I'm grateful to him for giving me the opportunity. I worked with Ashwin for 2 years, which is also very, very good. I worked in different T20 leagues, the TNPL, the KPL. I worked with the Delhi Daredevils in the IPL for a short stint. So, yeah, and with a lot of under-19 Tamil Nadu team, under-23 Tamil Nadu team, I've worked with batsmen. I specialize on one-on-one coaching with batsmen, so I've worked with batsmen from all over the world. So they come to me and train with me. So it's been fantastic. And look, I just love giving back to the game. It's something which has made me a reasonably successful sportsman, and I would just like to give back to the game. And I'm happy doing this. I won't trade this for anything else. So yeah.
Awesome. I was going to ask you what's next for you, but you've sort of covered that. But so let's cover on that one piece that you touched upon, which is you were part in 2018. You were part of the pre-camp with Delhi Daredevils, and you worked quite closely with Ricky Ponting. Now let's talk through that. How was that experience?
I just put it in one word: Ricky Ponting, greatest coach ever. Unbelievable guy. For a legend of the game to just come, keep throwing balls. His strategy, his professionalism. I can just keep going on and on. It just shows like. The session used to start at 5 o'clock. Coaches used to go at 3 o'clock, get everything organized there. So the players didn't have to do anything, just come and practice. The way his organizational skills, obviously, you know what a great thinker of the game is. So I learned a lot. I just learned a lot from the experience. And, like I said, it was great to spend, I think, 10 days with him. I loved every minute of it. And, like I watched the test program on Amazon, about Ricky Ponting assisting Justin Langer, and Nathan Lyon said that he's the greatest coach ever. I think I've not seen
when he says something, you just know it's right, and you just have to believe it.
Yeah, I 100%. in 10 days time, he made a huge impact to me, and I would love to work with him in the future. I don't know if I'll get an opportunity to, but it'll be a real honor to work with him. He's just an unbelievable guy who goes about his work so well, so professionally, and no fuss at all. Yeah.
Awesome. That's super insightful, Vidyut. No, thank you. I actually looked here because I'm going to be doing something fun with you. So everyone's heard about this rapid fire round. We've all heard it in Bollywood shows and so on, but we're going to do it in our cricket shows as well. So let's go. What's the best ground you've played at?
Best ground, the Wankhede Stadium. I love that place. Yeah.
And the toughest bowler you faced?
Toughest bowler, again, I think Dale Steyn.
Yep. And
I played him only for 3 balls. I played him for 3 balls. I got the 3rd ball. So yeah.
I was getting to that. Okay. The century at number 11 or the century at number 1? Which one was the
number 11?
One?
I really enjoyed the 11. Yeah.
Favorite cuisine?
I'm a complete foodie. I like all cuisines.
Most prized wicket in your career?
There have been a couple. I got Rahul Dravid out twice in the same game. I love that in a Buchivavu game here. I got VVS Lakshman out here. And another big wicket I got is Kevin Peterson against England. Yeah. So,
beautiful. I should ask, how did you get Kevin Peterson out? Did he try to come down and try to slog you over?
He slogged me from the crease, but straight to extra cover, and the extra cover fielder was looking back, but actually the ball was stuck in his hand, so it was hit that hard. But anyway, a wicket is a wicket, so no complaint. Yeah.
Absolutely. Who was your cricketing idol growing up?
I think Dad was somebody I really respected a lot. The way he played the game and the way he is as a person and was as a person was quite unbelievable. I loved Sir Vivian Richards. He is my all-time favorite. Yeah. And I have the greatest respect for Sunil Gavaskar because getting 1400s without a helmet and uncovered wickets was the most unbelievable thing to ever happen in this game. So, hats off to him for that. Yeah.
And to come back to the crease as well after getting hit on the head. So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So during your Chennai Super Kings stint, the person that was the most impactful to you?
I would say Stephen Fleming.
The next superstar from the current India under-19s?
Who do we have now? I think Jaiswal looks very, very promising. SSP Jaiswal. He looks very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Vidyut the bowler or Vidyut the batsman?
I like batting. Yeah, I guess batting. Yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
It's a close one, but I think I'll give it to batting. Yeah.
Okay. The best captain you've played under? I think it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
No-brainer. Yeah. MS Dhoni. Without any doubt.
Yeah. Favorite holiday destination?
New York.
The one person you would ask to bat for your life?
Rahul Dravid and Chiteshwar Pujara.
Favorite shot?
I enjoyed the square drive quite a bit. Yeah, I like playing the square drive. Yeah.
A last one can get a bit touchy, but I'll still put it out there. Does it hurt to know that your father has a higher first-class batting average than you?
It doesn't hurt. He was definitely a much better player than me in the longer format, and he averaged 42, which in today's cricket would have been 50 plus or 55 plus because they played uncovered wickets. They played 3-day games, much better bowling opposition. So, I averaged 33. I batted number 11 for the first 4 years of my life. I batted number 8 for some time. I batted number 7, number 6, number 5, and then I eventually opened. So I could have been better, but I beat my dad. I have a much better batting average than him in list day. I averaged 40 with a strike rate of 90. So I beat him on that. So I'm pretty happy about it. Yeah.
And you have a higher first-class score as well. Your 193 is 177.
Yeah. Against a better attack, Karnataka, he got against Andhra. So I think I beat him in that also. But he was awesome. But he was a way better cricketer than I was. No doubt about it. He was a great. He's taken 100 catches as well.
Oh.
So he was way better. He's got 6,000 runs. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So, definitely. Yeah.
Vidyut, this has been just amazing. Firstly, I want to say, like you just are very open about how you are as a person, and you've shared your story, which I'm sure a lot of people will be able to relate to. But they've also got to know you as a person. So thank you very much for doing this. And look, I wish you all the very best with your coaching, and hopefully in the future we get to see you with bigger teams as well. And I know you've already been making a lot of contributions to the youngsters. So really well done.
Thanks, Sharan. I think I really had a great time. Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys. Folks, we've got Chris Taberg coming in on Sunday, who's an ex-Brisbane Heat player, and also Willie Brink, who's Opens and Masters South African representative, who's also played first-class cricket for the Free State. So you tune in then. Cheers, guys. Bye.